All right, y'all. Showtime at the Apollo. AFC South up for grabs. NFC East up for grabs. Number one seed in both conferences up for grabs. Welcome to the B&E podcast presented by Premium. And the Texans and Bears will be scoreboard watching each other to see who wants the top pick in the draft more than another. All right, but before we move forward, we want to extend our thoughts and prayers, of course, to Damar Hamlin, the entire family, his loved ones, the Bills and Bengals organizations. Of course, the shout out to the first responders and doctors from Monday
Definitely.
evening through now and continuing on until he gets 100% well. Continue to fight, my brother. Significant progress has been made, as everyone knows. We all heard the news this morning, Friday morning, that he spoke with his teammates after the breathing tube was removed sometime overnight Thursday into Friday. Great to hear. And I'm sure you have a message on this as well.
Yeah, I'm just happy to hear that he continues to progress and hope he can never get back to full health and eventually make a progress to get back on the field. But I am
Absolutely.
really happy to hear that he's able to breathe on his own now. And saying all his neurological conditions are good and intact as well. So I'm just glad to hear that.
Most
And
definitely.
hopefully he can get back on the field as well. So before we get started, this episode is brought to you by Premium, a CBD and health and wellness company. Check out their line of CBD infused products, which are a perfect after workout refuel for athletes, a pain reliever for weekend warriors, and even a natural sports drink for us armchair quarterbacks. Their featured product is CBD infused honey, which is a personal favorite, as well as tinctures and mint and natural flavors. They are veteran, woman, and minority owned. So come get some of the sweet hemptation and the taste the premium difference. Use code BNE for 15% off your order. Their website is www.premium.com. That's PREHEMIUM.com. Again, that's PREHEMIUM.com. And now back to our show. Going to get into the opening drive today. The NFL has announced that Bills-Bengals game will not be resumed and has been canceled. This will be the first time since 1935 that every team doesn't play the same number of regular season games. Also today, Browns defensive end Jadeveon Clowney was sent home from practice today after reportedly making inflammatory remarks about the organization and his future with the team. Man, that's kind of crazy right there.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into these games. This is week 18, but it's pretty much playoff time already. A lot of these teams been playing playoff games since like week 15, if you want to think of it that way. I'm going to get into an NFC North matchup, Lions at the Packers. The Lions can make the playoffs with a win and Seattle losing or a tie with or Seattle losing ties with LA. And Green Bay just needs a win to get in. I think this could be potentially a game of the week right here. Both of these teams have been playing really well down the end. I just like Green Bay a little more. I think they have a 4-point. Vegas got them as a 4-point favorite right now, maybe 4.5-point favorite. I like the defense of Green Bay. They really impressed me last week, shutting down Justin Jefferson and crew, whooping on the Vikings. I think they continue to ride that momentum in the Lions game. But this Lions team, they can run the ball. Their offense is really good. Jared Goff is playing a little well. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he has over 100 catches and over 1,000 yards. So I think this is going to be a good game. But I trust Aaron Rodgers more than I trust Jared Goff. And as much as that Lions offense is good, that Lions defense, I think they're worse in the league. So I expect to see Packers controlling the clock, Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon pounding the rock on the lines, and Aaron Rodgers making plays down the field when he needs to. Brandon, how you see this game playing out?
Yeah, 8-8 versus 8-8. Lions team completely shocked us all season. Nobody, I think, would have thought that they would have been at this point with the opportunity to make the playoffs. Of course, they need some help, as you mentioned. We've seen the Lions in a number of close games all year, and they've been in 2 3-game win streaks. That's pretty impressive for the Lions, for sure. But yeah, the Detroit offenses came alive for sure. think we all knew about Williams and Swift at the running back position, but the wide receivers have played well. I know you mentioned was it Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Yeah.
Most of the offseason, you kind of threw the light bulb on in my head with him because I hadn't too much heard about him. But Jared Goff has even played well out there in the Motor City. But yeah, the Lions, they won the first matchup earlier this year in Detroit. It was a 15-9 final score. Defense picked off Aaron Rodgers 3 times and Goff tossed 2 touchdowns. Nothing too flashy in that game besides the fact of the interceptions on the defense. With that being said, I'm going to Packers at home. I feel like this might just be what they need as far as the playoff situation goes. Going the road in the playoffs, they kind of face some adversity. It seems like the last couple of years at home, it just hadn't that home field advantage hasn't worked out for them, or just, couple that with San Fran kind of just owns Aaron Rodgers over his career for sure. But I feel like Rodgers will have his guys ready to go. It will be a close game, as you said, probably be the game of the week. That's why the NFL selected this game to be in prime time as well, to close out the season. But yeah, go Pack, go. Winning, you're in.
Yeah.
Turning the page, everyone. AFC South title game is Saturday night in Florida. Titans 7-9, Jaguars 8-8. Who takes this division? Kickoff is set for 8:15 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. Again, let's go Jacksonville. Yeah, I picked y'all ahead of the season as I bragged all year. Now y'all 1 win away from going from the number 1 seed in the number 1 pick in the draft last year, the worst team in the league last year, to AFC South champions. I can't even remember the last time we saw a primetime game in Duval County. It might have been one recently, but I definitely know it hasn't been many at all over the last couple of years for sure. But yeah, I expect Trevor Lawrence to have a big game. Travis Etienne to capitalize off his 108-yard game last week. Just a few weeks ago, the Jags shocked me when they went to Nashville and won. It was 36-22. I picked the Titans in that game. We know Henry got loose in that game, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
But will Mike Vrabel have his team ready to play? Absolutely. Jaguars had the momentum, though, heading into this game. I think it is what we have. They've won 4 straight, and the Titans have dropped 6 in a row. So, yeah, definitely momentum is on Jacksonville's side. The crowd will be rocking down there. So no excuse, Jacksonville. This is your shot to, send a message heading into the playoffs. Get it done for sure. What do you think about this game for Saturday night?
Yeah, it's like the Jaguars are sprinting to the finish line and the Titans are limping to the finish lines, hoping they can get in. But I don't know if they got enough. Tannehill went down. Malik Willis isn't ready, so they bring in Josh Dobbs. This going to be his 2nd week with the team, so I don't know. I don't trust the Titans in this one. I'm gonna go with the Jaguars. I like how Trevor Lawrence has been looking lately. Like you mentioned, Travis Etienne. He's starting to look like a feature back for that group, and they still got some weapons. They finally unlocked Evan Ingram, it looks like, so he might have a big game. Christian Kirk has been playing well this season, but I don't want to discredit the Titans. I just think they got a lot of injuries, but I do think, like you said, Mike Vrabel is going to have this team playing well. I know they want to get to the playoffs. Battle of the AFC South. Brandon, wish you Nostradamus. Like you said, you did pick them in the beginning of the season to win the AFC South. So looks like your prediction is going to be correct. I think the Jaguars are going to do it, and I'm interested to see how they're going to look in these playoffs because I do think they're going to beat the Titans. But we'll see how the game goes. It might be a little pressure on them just to know, because this is kind of like a playoff game in itself as well. Both these teams win, they're basically in since they're going to win the division. So we'll see how to go if Trevor Lawrence has any nerves or anything like that. I doubt it. He plays in a lot of big games in college and high school, so I think he'll be ready for the moment. And I think the Jaguars should win this game. So we'll see how it goes. You said this was a Saturday game as well?
Yeah, that's the Saturday 2nd game on Saturday, the prime time. Yep.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. I like Saturday games.
It's going to be on ESPN and ABC.
Gotcha. See how it goes.
Yep. Thanks for watching the B&E podcast. He's Ed and I'm Brandon. This ought to be an interesting game Sunday afternoon in South Beach. Jets at Dolphins. What are your thoughts on this one, Ed?
Um, this is a tough one for me. I would have picked the Dolphins, but I don't know. Tua's not. I don't think Tua's playing again,
Yeah,
if I'm not
Skylar
mistaken.
Thompson's starting. I saw this morning, from what I
Yeah,
understand.
so I didn't really see too much from Skylar Thompson the last game, even though he was a backup for last game and Teddy went down. So maybe be a little bit more prepared, but he's going up against the Jets defense that's pretty good.
Yeah.
They got nothing to play for, so they'll be playing loose and free. So I don't know. I think the Jets are going to win this game, even though the Dolphins can win with a win, and if the Bills beat the Patriots, so they'll be ready to play. I just don't know if Skyler can lead these guys to
Mhm.
the win over the Jets. I think they're going to have to depend on the run game a little bit more. Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson and crew, but I don't know. I like the Jets. This is going to be one of those games where they got nothing to play for. Maybe they playing for the head coach. Maybe they a lot of guys playing for contracts in this season. But I just like the Jets a little bit more. Mike White is going to be back at quarterback for the Jets as well, and Zach Wilson will be the backup. I think Joe Flacco will be the backup. I don't even know Zach Wilson going to be starting, suiting up. So his future with the Jets is in jeopardy. I think they'll probably move on for him. What do you think about that? Zach Wilson's future. You think he's done?
Yeah, I got a note for him in a second. But I just saw, I think Joe Flacco's going to start. Mike White is out with an injured ribs,
Okay.
looks like.
Well,
So yeah,
that
the
kind of
boys.
changes my opinion. This is a game of toss-up for me then. No offense to your guy, Joe
Yeah,
Flacco.
Fluco. Yep.
But you know what? It's Joe Flacco, so he gonna fuck around, go out there, toss 5 touchdowns,
Yeah.
350 yards. Y'all gonna be like, where is this Joe Flacco? We
Hey,
should have
look,
started him all year.
like you say, everybody playing for a contract. He might be playing for one too. So he going out there, put on impression. He trying to get on somebody's squad.
Right.
But everybody was hyping up both these teams in midseason, rightfully so for the most part. Now they both enter this game in a 5-game losing streak. Still, Miami has a shot at the playoffs, as you mentioned. I believe Miami will do just enough. That was before I even knew about the Mike White, Joe Flacco, this whole quarterback conundrum up there in New York. Despite the fact Skylar Thompson is getting the start, as you mentioned, get the ball to the playmakers. Raheem Mostert, you know what you can do. Just a 5-yard dump off a slant to Tyreek Hill, and he's going to take a yard. And Jalen Waddle as well.
Yeah.
Is the tight end Gesicki? Is he still playing? I'm not sure if he's banged up or
He's
not.
been playing, but his usage has been low. He kind of
Okay,
wanted it to raise. I think he scored a touchdown last game, but
got you.
this season his usage has been a little lower than what he expected.
Okay. But yeah, as for the Jets, you mentioned Zach Wilson. I think he needs to attend one of those Peyton Manning quarterback camps in the off season if he has any hopes of being a starter again. I don't think it's going to work, but my Lord, I mean, uh, he needs to put an extreme focus on improving in the off season. But yeah, I had the Dolphins heading into this game again before I even knew about Mike White and Joe Flacco. As you said, Joe is kind of up and down. He could one day throw 5 touchdowns, 3 to 5 touchdowns, and next game come out and throw 3 to 4 picks. So
Right.
That Jets defense, as you mentioned, really good. But who will be playing in that game for them as far as, will their big names on defense be out there with the this game not meaning much for them? So
Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, this is a toss up again. Both on losing streaks. They both ain't been looking like themselves. Obviously, injuries on both sides. So hopefully, it's something to watch for the fans there in South Beach.
Yeah. All right, let's move over to the AFC East. We got the Patriots at the Bills. The Patriots, they can make the playoffs with a win over the Bills, or if the Jets beat the Dolphins, the Browns beat the Steelers, and the Jaguars beat the Titans. As far as this games goes, I like the Bills. I just think that tragedy that happened Monday night. I think these guys got something to play for, even though they already locked into the playoffs. I just think they're gonna go out there and play for DeMar and whoop on the Patriots. Honestly, I think they're really fired up and emotional, want to put on a good show and go out there and represent their teammate DeMar. I believe he was DeMar was a captain too. So
Okay.
that especially it had an impact on those guys because he was one of the leaders of the team. So I like the Bills in this game, but Bill Belichick and the Patriots, he's going to have them coached up. That defense, it seems like you make one mistake, they're going to capitalize off of it.
Yep.
And they got some ball hawks all over the place. But I just like the Bills a little bit more in this game. What do you think about this one, Brandon?
This game will be very interesting. As you said, will be the mental psyche for the Bills. Players will likely be emotional, as we all expect. The fans, I hope, I know they will keep them very engaged. There's a very good fan base there in Buffalo. Will they want to, I know things, as we mentioned, are turning around. Will they want to go out there and give it 100%? Especially the Bills, they don't have too much to play for as far as playoff seeding in a sense. Obviously already clinched, but on the other side of the field, New England can win and get the 7 seed. Buffalo easily beat them in the first game early this year, 24-10. If I'm not mistaken, that was a primetime game. But yeah, you can't bet much against Bill Belichick. Yeah, I
I'm a bet
think
against him.
What's that?
I'm a bet against his ass.
I think I'm going to go with the Patriots. I just think that they, obviously they're fighting for the opportunity to get into the playoffs. It's not like they could play spoiler to the Bills in any way. The Bills can towards them, but I think they'll get even in this game, and the series will be 1-1 as far as the divisional series goes. I'm going to go with the Patriots again as of now.
Gotcha.
All right, everyone, this episode is brought to you by Premium, a CBD health and wellness company. Check out their line of CBD infused products, which are a perfect after a workout refuel for athletes, a pain reliever for weekend warriors, and even a natural sports drink, for us armchair quarterbacks. Their featured product is CBD infused honey, which is a personal favorite of mine, as well as tinctures and mint and natural flavors. They are veteran, women, and minority owned. So come get some of this sweet temptation and tasty premium difference. Use code BNE for 15% off of your order. Their website is www.premium.com. That's PREHEMIUM.com. Again, PREHEMIUM.com. And now back to our show. Old school AFC North rivalry this weekend. Browns at Steelers in the Steel City. It's going to be cold and a chance of rain and snow in this one. Not much for me in this game. I want to see Najee Harris. I'll be watching him, to see if he has another big game, and even Kenny Pickett. He's on a roll right now, especially in the second half, last couple of games. Plus they're at home. Talk has been all year long. Will Pittsburgh end the season with their first losing record under Tomlin? We both pretty much said no. Browns are out of playoff contention. As you mentioned in the opening drive, we know about Jadeveon Clowney. He appears to want out of Cleveland. So I think the Steelers would dominate this game, and then they'll hope for some help from Miami and New England, losses for both of those teams so they can earn the final wild card spot. And I'll be watching to see if TJ Watt, if he can get to Deshaun Watson. This will be the first matchup since Watson has joined the AFC North after the suspension. Earlier in the year, he wasn't playing. Neither of them, I think, were playing in that game. I think it was like week 3 or something like that. But only good thing is for Deshaun is he'll have the whole full off season to recover, man, because these games are physical in the AFC North for real. And I think a lot of people don't realize how physical they are. But what are your expectations for this game?
Yeah, like you said, Steelers can make the playoffs with a win, and the Jets and Bills win. So they definitely got a lot to play for. I don't know. I got a weird feeling about this game for some reason. Just for some reason, when teams, in my opinion, when teams don't got nothing to play for, they just go out there and play free and just having fun out there. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Browns spoil that. I know Deshaun Watson, since he's came back, he hasn't really done much. Like last game of the season, he might go out there and look like old Deshaun with the Texans. So we'll see. Him and Amari Cooper is starting to get a connection together, it seems like. Because Amari Cooper sure had a game against Washington, boy. I'll tell you that much. But I wouldn't mind seeing the Steelers win this game and somehow get in the playoffs just for Mike Tomlin's legacy, I guess. I do want to see how Najee Harris looks as well. Kenny Pickett looks like the future of the Steelers as far
For
as
sure.
franchise quarterback. So we'll see how it goes. George Pickens, he'll probably be the number one guy next year. I like Deontay Johnson as well.
Yep.
So I'm probably going to lean towards the Steelers, but like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if the Browns win this game. As like you said, Jadeveon Clowney, I don't know. I feel like Browns ain't really too concerned about him and what's going on with that. They'll probably sweep that under the rug, and everybody will be ready to play when the time comes. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Steelers in this one, but I think it'll be a close game. I don't know if the Steelers will just go out there and wipe the floor with them. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Let's get into these other games that's going to happen this weekend. We got the Cowboys at the Commanders, Chiefs at the Raiders, Bucks at the Falcons, Vikings at the Bears, Ravens at the Bengals, Texans at the Colts, Panthers at the Saints, Chargers at Broncos, Giants at the Eagles, Cardinals at the Niners, and the Rams at the Seahawks. Brandon, which of these games are you going to be keeping an eye on?
Believe it or not, Texans and Colts and Vikings and Bears, for the reason I
Really?
mentioned earlier, we'll see. Will either of these teams try to tank to get the number one pick in the draft for this coming year? Those NFC East matchups, because that division is still up for grabs as well. Giants and Eagles, and the Cowboys and Commanders. Understand y'all have a new quarterback starting on Sunday, Sam Howell. I know you mentioned you want to see him play, so that'll be interesting to see. Will he help spoil the Cowboys' shot at winning the division there in Landover? And yeah, I believe that's it. What about you?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to look at this Cowboys Commanders game just to see how Sam Howell looks out there. Then, like you said, the NFC East is still up for grab. I think the NFC is still up for grab. A lot of teams still have a chance to get that number one
The one seed,
seed in the NFC. But the Cowboys Commanders game, Sam Howell, please, can you please give me some hope, man, for next season? We need a quarterback. Wentz ain't gonna work. Heineke, I know everybody thinks he's a good guy. He is a good guy. But as far as quarterback, I don't know. Good backup maybe, but leader of the team. I mean, franchise quarterback, I don't see it. I'll be looking at the Cardinals Niners game just because, as I mentioned earlier, the number one seed in the NFC is still up for grabs. I'm gonna look at that Ravens Bengals game just to see how the Bengals look after, dealing with what they had to deal with on Monday night as well. I know both of you guys are locked in for the playoffs, but still just want to see how you guys look against the Bengals. Let's see, Chiefs Raiders. I'm gonna look at that game. Was Jared Stidham, was that just a fluke, or is this guy official or not? We'll see against the Chiefs. And let's see, any other games I'll be paying attention close to? I guess the Rams at the Seahawks. I'm gonna be looking at that game as well. See how the Seahawks do out there. I think they still have a chance to make the playoffs.
They do, yeah.
Yeah. But as far as the NFC East goes, I think the Eagles will win it, even though Jalen Hurts is probably not going to play. I think the Eagles are going to do something. I feel like the Cowboys are going to fumble it somehow.
Yeah,
they're going to fumble a chance at winning it. So I'm going to go with the Eagles. And as far as the NFC in the whole, I think I'm going to go with the Niners. They're playing against the Cardinals. Kyler Murray's not going to be there. I like the Niners to win. I like them to win the NFC. What about you? Who do you think is going to win the NFC East and the NFC?
Yeah, I got the Eagles winning the NFC East. I think they have a favorable matchup with the Giants. Are likely going to be resting their starters. I think they're locked in the seed, whatever seed they're in. And the NFC at the whole, let's see, San Fran, Philly. I think Philly would, if that's the case, Philly would would still keep the NFC as a whole if they were to win. So yeah, I guess I'll keep with Philly across the board there myself.
Gotcha.
All right, everyone. Obviously, Monday is going to be the end of the season, or Saturday for some people. For a lot of teams, and sure in the back of their mind, some players are already thinking about their next move, especially the quarterbacks, the signal callers, the guys that make the most money for the most part. So we're going to break down two categories: quarterbacks on the move, and the teams with the most quarterback questions. We'll start with the quarterbacks on the move. I got a long list of myself. I got Derek Carr. Obviously, we know that he got benched, was the last game. Basically left the facility or was told to leave the facility, whatever happened. He's not around the team. Let's put it that way. I got him going to the Commanders or any team in the NFC South.
See, you keep saying that, man. Stop. Don't be putting that bad juju on us, man. No offense to Derek Carr, but come on, man.
He's not a bad quarterback.
He ain't a bad quarterback, but
He'd
he
be
ain't
upgrade.
a good one.
I'm with you. But yeah, Derek Carr definitely, is looking like he won't be back with the Raiders. Ryan Tannehill, I got him going somewhere to the NFC South. Tom Brady, his contract is up. And by the way, everyone, this is like, I don't know everybody's contract situation. It's just what we think with what's been happening this last couple of months. These guys probably won't be back with their team. Tom Brady, I could see him with the Raiders or back to the Patriots. Matt Ryan, just retire. Simple. Zach Wilson, that relationship is just over too. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to trade him as well, even though Robert Saleh is kind of like giving words of inspiration to the media and stuff. I mean, we pretty much think that that's over there. Sam Darnold, he'll be somebody's backup. I doubt he'll be back in Carolina, no matter who the head coach is, whether they retain Steve Wilkes or get somebody else. They're going to want somebody else up in there at quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's a wild card. I wouldn't be surprised they keep him and move Trey Lance. And it would seem kind of crazy because they did move up in the draft to get Trey Lance as well. But it's only been a couple of years, but still. Baker Mayfield, he's another wild card. I believe he'll be a backup unless the Rams don't retain him. I think Stafford is going to be a little iffy early in the year, so they probably will retain him. But then again, they also their backup wasn't too bad as well, in my opinion, for being a backup. And Carson Wentz, all I could do is laugh. I don't know where he should play next. Obviously, we know it should be in DC because it didn't work there. So yeah, where else can this guy go? I mean, they thought it was going to work in Indy.
He can go to Canada.
What about the XFL?
XFL, USFL, all that
right?
shit. Yeah.
So yeah, Carson, I just don't know. Honestly, off the top of my head, and we've had a couple of days we've been prepping for this. Like, I don't know where I could see him going. I really don't. Backup or starter. I don't know. So yeah, what quarterbacks do you feel like are on the move?
A lot of teams and quarterbacks he names. Jimmy G, I think they're going to move on from him, especially with this addition of Brock Purdy and how he's been looking out there. I think they'll be satisfied with either Brock Purdy or Trey Lance as the quarterback and then have one of those guys back the other one up. So I think Jimmy G will be on the move. Let's see. Derek Carr is definitely on the move. I don't see the Commanders doing it. I really don't. But dumber things have happened. I don't want to make it seem like Derek Carr is terrible, but come on, man. Let's see who else. You said Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield. I think the Rams are going to keep Baker Mayfield. I think he should stay where he's at. Just accept your position, man. You're probably going to back up Matt Stafford. He has an injury history, so you probably might play some next year. So stay where you at in LA. Let's see. The Bucks, Tom Brady. I think he, like you said, he could be moving on to the Raiders. I don't know. I think he should stay with the Bucks though, honestly. But we'll see. But Raiders, that's nice, but I think he should stay with the Bucks, stay where he's at. Let me see. Cardinals. This is more of a second question. Teams with quarterback questions. I kind of want to get more into that question. Because Kyler Murray blew his knee out like in the middle of the season, so I don't think he'll be ready anytime soon by the time next season starts. So they're going to have some questions as far as who they're going to put out there. Are they going to put Colt McCoy out there, or are they going to try to draft a guy as a replacement? I won't say as a replacement, but as a placeholder until Kyler Murray gets back. Yeah, insurance policy. Yeah. So we'll see. Teams with QB quarterback questions. Definitely the Jets. Zach Wilson experiment seems to have failed. What are they going to do? Are they going to go, Jimmy G? He might go to the Jets. Mike White, he played a little bit last year, but he's got the team to rally around him. But I don't know if they trust him to give them the keys to their franchise. Let's see. Not the Cardinals, the Giants, they are pretty much set. I want to salute Daniel Jones. He kind of played to keep his NFL career alive as far as a starting quarterback. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, they're good. The Ravens, Lamar Jackson. Honestly, I think y'all are going to franchise him. I don't think y'all are going to give him the money he wants. I think y'all are going to franchise him for another season and see what happens after that. I think Lamar might leave in the future. Maybe not next year, but I don't, for some reason, I just don't think they'll give him that guaranteed money that he wants. So I think the Ravens, they're going to franchise him next year. And after that, we'll see. They might do like a kind of what the Commanders did with Kirk Cousins. I think we franchised his ass twice and gave him a boatload of money before he went to the Vikings. I could kind of see that happening with y'all, but we'll see what happens. Let me see these other teams. Raiders definitely have questions. I don't know if Stidham is the guy or not. He's been in the league for a little bit, so we'll see. Niners, they're gonna have some questions. Brock Purdy is looking really good. But Trey Lance, like you said, they drafted they gave up the damn house, the chicken and the egg for this dude. So I don't know if they want to move on him just yet. We'll see. And then I got the Seahawks. That's a question I got. Geno Smith, he's playing well. He might get comeback player of the year, but I don't know. I think they could still draft a guy just to come up behind, or they might get a guy in the off seasons as well, like a trade or something, or just a free agent signing. So I got questions about the Seahawks and Geno Smith. He did do them good. They got him in the spot to get into the playoffs, but I don't know if that's a guy they want to hand over the franchise to. We'll see. You got any thoughts on teams with QB questions?
Yeah, I literally have half the league on my list, so I'll try to run down real quick. A couple of them already addressed, but I'll just run them over real quick. The Raiders, we obviously know about Derek Carr and Jarrett Stidham. Titans, Ryan Tannehill, Malik Willis seemed to not be the answer early on. They got Dobbs starting again on Sunday. Again, as you mentioned, the Ravens. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Lamar leaves even sooner than a couple years from now. I wouldn't be surprised if they it seems like they're going to franchise him, but, will he sign it? Will he request trade at that point? It could be a whole can of worms. And then you have a cheaper option with Tyler Huntley. And we know how teams are taking advantage of this whole 5-year window for rookie quarterbacks and stuff like that. So Lamar's at year 5, heading into year 6. Tyler's in year 3, heading into year 4. We would have 2 years to play with, in a sense, as far as finances go. Atlanta Falcons, Desmond Ridder and Marcus Mariota. We don't know. I know Mariota signed a 2-year contract heading into this season. He got banged up. Ritter's been in there, hasn't played too bad last couple games, but yeah, they definitely have some questions. Tampa Bay, Brady's contract is up. Will he decide to stay? Will he retire? Will he go somewhere else? At that point, they don't really have a viable option as far as backup goes, moving into the starter, in most people's opinion. Minnesota Vikings, as you think you mentioned, Kirk Cousins as well. The record looks good. We always are critical of Kirk Cousins. I believe his contract is up next year, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, teams just be moving on from players left and right. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone. Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, I forgot about them.
They're just a mess right now. Everybody knows what's going on there. Houston Texans. I do like what's the guy down there? Davis Mills. Thank you. I've been talking about him all year. I do like him, but I'm not sure if Houston gets that 1 pick, will they go quarterback? Consensus is you pick quarterback number 1. So get yourself franchise guy and go from there. New York Jets, as you mentioned, Mike White, Zach Wilson needs to go to the Peyton Manning quarterback camp to even hope to have a chance. But they're in shambles as well. Carolina Panthers. I like the young black guy down there. I can't think of his name.
For the Panthers?
Yeah, he got banged up. He was playing after. He played in the XFL and all that stuff. I really like him, but I don't think they're sold on him. And we all know Sam Darnold's not the answer. He's the Mr. Ghost Man, as I call him. New Orleans Saints, man. You have
Yeah.
Mr. 30 for 30, and then you have Andy Dolphin, what they call the red rifle. It just ain't been working this year. Go get yourselves a quarterback. Draft a quarterback in the first round, please. 49ers, you mentioned Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, Jimmy G, a whole mess out there. Los Angeles Rams, you talked about him as well. You got Baker Mayfield, you got
Stafford
banged up. Wolford or whatever his damn name
John.
is. Thank you. So yeah, they definitely have some questions as well. Seattle Seahawks. Everybody, for the most part, should say that they should stick with Geno, but is he enough of a quarterback? I guess that's the question you could say if you're in that front office brass there up in the Pacific Northwest. Commanders, of course, I already talked about them and their issues at the quarterback position. And then the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff has looked good, but he hadn't necessarily looked good in years prior. Besides, I think he had the one good year out in Los Angeles. So will they think that that's enough that offense has been spectacular this year. They've been putting up yardage. They've been putting up points. One point in the season, they was like leading the league in points per game, over 30 and all that. They have a lot of questions on defense, but will they keep the band together in a sense moving forward? So yeah, that was literally 16 teams, half the league.
The Panthers guy's PJ Walker. That's his
Thank
name.
you. Yeah, I like PJ. I hope he gets a shot to stay there. Hopefully, if Steve Wilkes stay there, maybe he'll go back to him.
I think he'd be a backup. I don't know about starting the starting quarterback. Yeah, I think he's a good backup.
Yeah, I think he's definitely a good backup. I think I wish he had more of an opportunity because I think he's electric. What he can do with both his arm and his legs. Definitely his legs for sure. So
I want to add another team real quick, the team with quarterback questions. The Dolphins and Tua, just because of this concussion history starting to have. Yeah. Concussion. I mean, he had at least three that we know of this season. Concussions, those definitely can get worrisome as you age, just as doing regular day life. So him be playing football. I mean, you saw the after effects when he had that concussion. They didn't really spot it. Before that, the last game, he was looking all right. He threw a touchdown to Jalen Waddle that went like 90 yards or something. Then after he got that concussion, dude threw like 3 interceptions. So he's clearly playing. He's probably seeing like double or triple out there, but he's clearly affected by that hit. And he's a smaller quarterback, so I'm kind of worried about his health going forward. Concussions, and he gets banged up as well, just other parts of his body. So that's a question mark for me going forward, the Dolphins and Tua.
Very true.
Yeah.
And another one I'll add in real quick, just because you never know nowadays, especially after last all season. Denver Broncos, will the new head coach want to get a quarterback of his own, even though the massive payroll that Russell holds there in the Mile High City? That's going to be interesting to watch as well, for sure.
And I got to just little rant. It ain't gonna be too long. Commanders, y'all got to get this quarterback situation fixed, man. That's all we're really missing is a reliable quarterback. That's literally all we're missing. We got dogs on a wide receiver line. Terry McLaurin, the dog, Curtis Samuel. It's like any given Sunday with him, he can gut you if you let him. And then Jahan Dotson, he looks like a stud as a rookie as well. We got the pieces, man. Somehow, I'm hoping and praying you like the second coming of Sonny Jurgensen or somebody. But please, man, we need to get this damn quarterback situation figured out. Don't get Derek Carr. No offense to Derek Carr. You cool and everything, but no, we good on you, homie. Either draft again or give Sam Howell. Let's see how he looks. But Wentz and Heineke, you good as a backup, homie. Wentz, good luck to you. Salute to you. You made a lot of money. You got a ring. You got an MVP. But I think I think you're shot. I don't know what's up with you mentally, dude. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about them.
He can go be an offensive coordinator like Kellen Moore.
Yeah, or Josh McCown. Yeah, you might get.
Yeah, Josh McCown. Yep, for sure. All right, everyone. Chad Johnson used to say, "Don't blink, you might miss something." That definitely counts for Week 18 coming up. 2 days of football. Of course, the doubleheader on Saturday, where we have Kansas City and Las Vegas, Tennessee at Jacksonville, battle for the AFC South, and then a boatload of games on Sunday. We'll conclude with Detroit at Green Bay. Green Bay wins, and they're in. We'll be right back on Monday to keep you informed on what happened and gear up for Super Wild Card Weekend. Let's get it, everyone.
Peace.